Good evening. It's Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. This is the October 21st meeting of the Eastchester Board of Fire Commissioners. And the first order of business is with the flag. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First, I have a motion to enter an executive session to discuss personnel matters.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Okay, we're back from executive session. The time is 7:15. Okay. The budget hearing. Talk about the budget.
Sure. Okay, so we had our September meeting where the board approved and adopted proposed budget. That budget reflected a tax increase of 4.68%. The main factors driving the increase are increases to salary and certain benefits as a result of a recently negotiated MOA with the union. Our projected increases for our retirement costs, and then various operating costs where we've seen the expenses in 2025 exceed the budget, and we are trying to account for that going into next year. The budget that is presented tonight, the budget hearing, is identical to the budget that was presented and approved in a proposed form, so there's been no changes made. No new information has been gathered. We had already knew our retirement system contribution, and as we talked about, we don't have any information on our healthcare costs, what we can anticipate for next year. We don't usually find that out until December, and to be conservative, we left those amounts static because we did build in a larger increase coming into 2025, which did not come to fruition. The 4.68% would be exceeding the tax cap, which is approximately 2.7% that we were allowed to increase the budget without exceeding the tax cap. I don't know if there's anything additional the board would like to discuss about the budget at this time, or any questions or anything you want me to go into more detail about.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Approval of minutes. We have.
Well, so we have to finish the
Oh,
budget
yeah,
hearing.
you have to,
So we do this, so I believe now we open it up
To
for
public.
public comment regarding the budget itself.
yes.
At that point, then we can close the hearing and then open the regular meeting, where if the board is ready tonight to pass the budget, we can do that at the next portion of the meeting. If there's any changes desired by the board or as a result of public comment, if the board is not ready to do that this evening, we have until November 4th, which is the final date that the budget has to be approved by.
There's
So we're on
anyone
this right now.
from the public have any comments about budget? Yes.
Hi, Ray Rooney, Beach Shannon Place, Eastchester.
Oh, sorry, we're gonna set up a phone hearing. Do you want the microphone? Okay, one second. Thank you, sorry.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Ray Rooney, 8 Channing Place, Eastchester. Earlier today, I stopped by the fire headquarters and submitted a request for an extension on time. So before I get even into my 3-minute window, did you guys discuss my application for an extended period of time tonight?
It was not discussed. There was some feedback from a couple of the commissioners, and it was felt that the initial 3 minutes, and at the end, if you want an additional 3 minutes, that would be more than sufficient.
So it would be a total of 6 minutes on the budget time? Okay, all right, fine. All right, I have a lot of questions in regard to it, and I don't know whether any of the board members are comfortable, so if you don't mind, I would like to ask the treasurer, because she actually probably has the answers. A lot of these were accounting questions, so let me know who I should be addressing it to.
Okay, well, address the board and
Okay, all right off the bat. On page 2 of your handout, which gives you your graphic over here, if all the board commissioners can look at this, if you want to follow through. It's on the second handout. Jamie, can you?
That's my treasurer.
That's your treasurer
Yes,
report.
it's
Okay,
not
fine.
necessarily related to the budget.
Okay, fine. On her summary report, first question right off the bat. The financials of September 30th, 2025. Okay, shows us approximately $1.9 million on the plus side. The question on this is that for the January to September, or is that projected that we'll have 1.9 by the end of the year?
Do you want to do this as a back and forth? It's going to run his time. Do you want him to ask all these questions?
if you have the answers, please answer it.
Okay. Yes, that is just through September. So a lot
Okay.
of times when you see a surplus there, it could be just timing related surplus.
Okay, write down the next statement, the retro payments that were paid on September 2nd. In the 2025 budget, was there sufficient funds to cover the retro payment first, and then the remaining 3 months out of the 2025, out of our current budget, to pay the new contract?
We estimated what a potential increase could look like in 2025, and the increases did exceed what we had budgeted.
It did exceed. Okay, thank you. Do you have that dollar amount of what you project it's going to exceed?
I don't have a dollar amount. We were projecting more closer to maybe like a 3% increase.
Okay, so you won't know that until the end of the fiscal year, end of the calendar year.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the third one, the third box, budget encumbrances, emergency equipment, and boots. On the top line of that, which says we won't be completed until 2025, should that be 2026? Or am I reading that?
This has been carried over throughout this year. So this is just showing what we brought in from last year.
So this is a 2024 carry into 2025? Okay, I'm just wondering whether is that how it should be worded? I don't know accounting principles. It was a little bit confusing on that.
Yeah, so normally in our budget, we have encumbrances and we have appropriations.
Mhm.
And encumbrance is something we brought over from last year to use in this year.
Okay.
In this case, in this year, it was kind of a smaller amount. And
Okay.
it's already been expended, but sometimes we could still have money carried over from last year that we're anticipating spending.
Okay, next box down, ladder truck commitment. Should this read engine commitment? Didn't we put a million, so
Yep.
that can be corrected for your final budget? Okay. Okay, budget lines. This was a weird one. On the carryovers, that we're carrying over the $500,000 going in from 25 into the 26 budget for the engine, for the completion of the engine purchase, the $500,000?
Yeah.
Okay, we're still going to be short an additional $64,000 according to this, but it looked like on our carryover from 24, we had sufficient funds to move up. Instead of just a $500,000, we could have moved over to $564,000. Is there a reason we're not doing that?
Well, part of it now is we believe that that amount is not going to be owed because there's been a change to the specifications for the engine, which the chief has explained at a previous meeting. It was also, we were just planning to use that out of general funds for next year. The difference, we didn't reserve that money, so we didn't carry it over. Likely at the end of this year, if we believed we were still going to owe that amount, we would have carried that amount over from 2025 into 2026.
Okay. Next paragraph down. We currently are showing $12 million invested in treasury bills.
Yes.
Okay. On June 1st of 2024, do you know, of 2025, excuse me, that would start the new tax receipts from the town. Do you know what we carried over from our 2024 budget into 2025? In other words, do we have a surplus? Because going through all of your different budget lines, it doesn't reflect what we carried over.
Right, because this is a P&L, not a...
Okay, but for the public, So in other words, we're raising our taxes 4.6%, okay? So it doesn't show us that we actually had money in the bank someplace, whether it's going to be for capital improvements, whether it's to purchase more equipment, whether it's for restoring some of the firehouses, for whatever reason. There's no bank, and there's no budget line that shows us
Correct.
how much money we
On our
have.
financial statements.
Oh, yeah, on our financials.
It will show.
But for the
what was
budget,
unassigned
but
at the end of the year.
right, but the financial statements, the general public is not seeing that in a public forum. So I'm wondering why we wouldn't reflect that in this budget line over here.
Ray, your time is up.
Okay.
So let somebody else.
Was that the 3-minute time or was that the 6-minute time?
That was it.
Anybody else want to go to? Anybody else want to punt the football to me?
You got my 3 minutes.
Is that allowed to punt the football?
No.
It's not allowed?
No.
Okay.
Anybody else in the public? Okay.
In Congress, they say I yield my time to Mr. Rooney. It's not appropriate to do that here, Mr. Chairman?
This isn't Congress.
I know it's not Congress, but I'm just saying that's what they do
You
in
could have
Congress.
20 people yield 3 minutes, he could speak for an hour. And
I know.
believe that was the purpose of the 3-minute rule, so somebody's not getting up here speaking for an
Can I
hour.
make one statement?
So,
One statement. The board controls, and I respect everybody sitting up there for their expertise and their volunteer time. And I'm going to say this. An employee should not be telling the board what to do. I should leave it like that.
Well, can I just
We,
say
well, we
something?
discussed this already, and we did have text with everybody, and it's on the phone, and we did say we weren't going to allow passing back and forth.
And I'm fine with that.
No, so it was already discussed beforehand.
What
Yep.
I'm saying is that when you guys, the 5 commissioners, run the meeting, and that's where the comments should come in regard to the procedures of the meeting. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you were, okay.
I got something.
We got Councilman Knight.
the UHF. On the budget, Anthony?
Yeah,
Okay.
Lower down a bit.
He's going to lower it.
Okay. Anthony Fiore, Village of Tuckahoe. Oh, 3 different place, Tuckahoe, New York. In this budget, I know you're going to be doing a building in about a year, 2 years or so. Is there something in here just in case it doesn't go through? Would that come under, if you want to do the floor or anything, any extra for that?
Whatever we're gonna do, we're gonna have to bond.
We have to bond, okay.
So
So if they say it fails, there's nothing extra in here to go for it, okay. All right, that's all I wanted to know, thanks.
Can I just say one thing with that? There's nothing built, again, the budget that we're looking at here is our best estimate of what expenses we believe we will incur in 2026. There is nothing specifically built in here for capital improvements. However, as we were pointing out, this is one side of the equation. There may be at the end of the year surplus that is available that the board can reevaluate and say how we want to designate that money in the event that there's a capital improvement project that needs to be done. We also do have a reserve, a capital improvement reserve, which has about $400,000 in it currently. There's just in this, what we're saying we expect to expend in 2026, there's nothing specifically in here built in for capital improvements.
Okay. Thanks.
How are we doing? Jim Rooney, retired member. What percentage retired member and volunteer? So,
Your address? Your address.
Peekskill.
Okay.
New York. What percentage of the budget is personnel related?
Common benefits, we
Say again?
salary benefits of nursing? 85%?
probably, yeah.
Salaries?
About 91%.
If you include turnout gear, uniforms, I'm sure it's pretty high.
Everything,
Yeah.
everything. Okay,
Yeah, I had said on the highlights approximately 90%.
okay. Thank you.
That's pretty accurate.
Anybody else? Okay. All right, so now go to the approval of minutes. Okay. Motion to close the budget hearing.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And then the motion to open the regular meeting. Redundant.
A motion to open the regular meeting of the board.
I'll give a motion.
Okay? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Now we have a bunch of minutes to approve. Be resolved, the Board of Fire Commissioners approves to adopt the following meeting minutes. June 12th, 2025, a regular meeting. June 25th, 2025, special meeting. June 30th, a special meeting. July 10th, a regular meeting. July 17th, a special meeting. August 14th, a regular meeting. September 4th, a special meeting. September 18th, a regular meeting. September 29th, a special meeting. Can I have a motion to adopt all those meetings? All in favor?
Aye.
Well, he's on the floor.
Yeah. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Lori.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo. Commissioner Manley.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, now treasurer's report, please.
Could also, oh, I see. So there was resolutions proposed. Does the board want to move forward with that item?
Oh, okay.
Unless, is there?
No, that's fine. I don't really have anything else I need to discuss unless you have any questions.
Okay. All right, resolution of the Board of Fire Commissioners override real property tax cap. Whereas the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Eastchester Fire District must adopt a proposed budget for 2026 and an estimate of fund balances in preparation for the annual Fire District budget hearing, and did so in preparation for the budget hearing. And whereas the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Eastchester Fire District held the annual Fire District budget hearing with notice to the public on October 21st, 2025, and whereas the board has considered the proposed budget and comments received on the proposed budget on October 21st, 2025 at said budget hearing, and whereas the board has determined that the financial needs of the Eastchester Fire District for fiscal year 2026 cannot be supported by a budget that would comply with the real property tax cap established pursuant to Section 3C of the General Municipal Law, as the proposed budget for 2026 calls for a real property tax levy that will exceed the real property tax cap, permitting only a
4.68?
No, it's
2.9.
2.7.
7% increase in said tax levy. And whereas Section 3C of the General Municipal Law provides as follows: a local government may adopt a budget that requires a tax levy that is greater than the tax levy limit for the coming fiscal year, not including any levy necessary to support the expenditures pursuant to subparagraphs I through IV, 1 through 4, of paragraph G of subdivision 2 of this section. Only if the governing body of such local government first enacts by a vote of 60% of the total voting power of such body a local law to override such limit for such coming fiscal year only, or in the case of a district or fire district, a resolution approved by a vote of 60% of the total voting power of such body to override such limits of such fiscal year only. Now therefore be it resolved that the Eastchester Fire District Board of Fire Commissioners hereby approves a determination to override the real property tax cap for the 2026 budget only in order to permit an annual real property tax levy that will exceed the real property tax cap, permitting only a 2.7% increase in said tax levy, and result in a final average fire district budget in the amount of
4.68.
those dollars.
It's $25,071,650.
Okay. 25,071,658.
650, right? 650. 650.
Six votes. And motion on the above resolution was offered by, I make the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Loring.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Randall.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Resolution of the Board of Fire Commissioners approve final budget for 2026. Whereas the Board of Fire Commissioners of Eastchester Fire District must adopt a proposed budget for 2026 and an estimate of fund balances in preparation for the annual fire district budget hearing, and did so in preparation for the budget hearing. And whereas the Board of Fire Commissioners of Eastchester Fire District held the annual fire district budget hearing with notice to the public on October 21st, 2025. And whereas the board has considered the proposed budget and comments received on the proposed budget on October 21st, 2025 at said budget hearing. And whereas the board has determined that the financial needs of the Eastchester Fire District for fiscal year 2026 cannot be supported by a budget that would comply with the real property tax cap established pursuant to Section 3C of the General Municipal Law, as the proposed budget for 2026 calls for a real property tax levy that will exceed the real property tax cap, permitting only a 2.7% increase with allowable carryover in said tax levy. And whereas Section 3C of the General Municipal Law provides as follows: a local government may adopt a budget that requires a tax levy that is greater than the tax levy limit for the coming fiscal year, not including any levy necessary to support the expenditures pursuant to subparagraphs 1 through 4 of paragraph G of subdivision 2 of this section. Only if the governing body of local government first enacts by a vote of 60% of the total voting power of such body a local law to override such limit for such coming fiscal year only, or in case the fire district or the district or fire district, a resolution approved by a vote of 60% of the total voting power of such body to override such limit for such coming fiscal year only. Whereas previously, this Board of Fire Commissioners passed a resolution to override the real property tax cap for the 2026 budget. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Eastchester Board of Fire Commissioners hereby approves the final budget for the Eastchester Fire District for 2026, attached here to and made part hereof in the amount of $25,073.
071,650.
Okay. With a tax levy of
24,990,650.
Okay. To, motion on the above resolution to, okay. We've voted on this, right?
We got it again.
Motion on the above resolution was offered by, I guess, me, Commissioner Randall, and seconded by,
Second it.
I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Loring.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Randall.
aye.
Motion carried.
Now we have treasurer's report.
I accounts that are on track to be over budgeted by the end of the year. I don't think we'll have any information yet from NISHIP, but certainly if we do, I will share that at that time. And then the only other thing I had for this evening, and I think there's a motion coming later, was with respect to civil service survey regarding exams we may want to participate in 2026. So I know there's a resolution for later in the meeting, just for the board to authorize me to respond to civil service. That's it.
Thank you, Jim. Chief's report.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. The monthly activity report for September 2025, total alarm activity, 348 responses, fire-related 3, EMS or rescue, 187. We gave mutual aid 3 times, twice to the city of Yonkers and once to Hastings Fire Department as hazmat squad response. And we received mutual aid once. Ironically, on the same day, the county hazmat team came to assist us with an acid spill on Fisher Avenue. The 3 probationary firefighters currently in the Career Fire Academy, which began on Tuesday, September 9th. The firefighters will go through 21 weeks of rigorous fire training, and they are scheduled to graduate the Fire Academy in mid-January 2026. Hank's mechanic report for September was emailed to the board on October 20th, as was Tim Dalton's maintenance report. Fire prevention and code enforcement continue with numerous plan reviews and inspections. The fire prevention report was emailed to the board on October 8th. October is Fire Prevention Month, and the fire prevention staff and the on-duty members have been busy visiting the local elementary schools doing fire safety demonstrations. Currently, there are 2 members out on long-term absence. The 9/11 Never Forget mobile exhibit arrived in Eastchester on Sunday, October 5th. I want to thank the members of Local 916, both on duty and off duty, for once again assisting with the setup and breakdown of the exhibit. The local schools and the public were able to see a moving tribute to the emergency responders and members of the public lost on 9/11 and also during the 2003 bombing at the World Trade Center site. Thank you also to the Eastchester Rotary Club and the Foley Family Foundation for sponsoring the exhibit. The district has an opportunity to utilize the vacant house next door to fire headquarters for training evolutions. Would the board allow an additional overtime training day this year to allow the groups to take advantage of this unique opportunity? The treasurer has confirmed there is money in the budget to fund this training, which would be no more than $60,000 if every member took advantage of the training, which is not typical. There's people, for whatever reason, that don't come in on overtime training days. The lack of realistic training facilities within the district makes this opportunity a way for the members to prepare for real-world scenarios on the fire ground. Please discuss and consider approving the additional funding of the training day to utilize the vacant house. I believe it's going to get torn down in January, so we have a limited window. We can't really wait till next year to do it. You know, if we flow water in January, somebody's going to slip on the ice and get hurt. So we want to try to take advantage of it before the weather changes and before the house gets torn down. The next item is Calgi Construction President Dominic Calgi provided hourly rates and description of the work that they could do, the services his firm can provide for the Bronxville Firehouse project. Please discuss how the board plans to move forward. Specifically, do you want to consider starting from scratch, tear down the existing firehouse and build a new one? Or do we want to fix the floor, the bricks, the roof, the interior, the electrical? So we need to start moving that project along. So please discuss it tonight if the board would be willing to do that. I would like to offer my congratulations to firefighter Jerry Maiello on his retirement effective September 26, 2025. Jerry began his career with the Eastchester Fire District as a volunteer firefighter with the Waverly Engine Company on July 24, 2001, and he was issued badge 1847. He was appointed a career firefighter on September 19, 2001, and issued badge 167. Jerry served the residents of the Eastchester Fire District for over 24 years of combined service, and I want to wish him a long and healthy retirement. And finally, at the September board meeting, we ended that meeting with a moment of silence to remember volunteer firefighter Robert Sullivan, who passed away on 9/11/2025. Bob joined the Rescue Hook and Ladder Company No. 1 on October 9, 1986, and was issued badge 1732. He was a member of the district and served the residents for over 38 years. We did a moment of silence for him at that meeting, but I didn't have his information of what he served for the district, so I just wanted to mention it at tonight's meeting. And that's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Commissioners, my report is focused mainly on the election. Just a reminder to the public for the fire district election falling on Tuesday, December 9th. All materials are available on our website, eastchesternyfd.gov. Candidates for district office shall file written petitions subscribed by at least 25 qualified voters with the Secretary of the Fire District at our headquarters no later than November 19th by 4 p.m. So petition forms are available on our website, also here at headquarters if you needed a printout. And then thank you to the election inspectors who have already expressed interest in working at our election. If you're interested in working at the fire district election, you must be a resident of Tuckahoe, Bronxville, or Eastchester, and a certified election inspector with the Board of Elections in Westchester. And that's mainly the matter of my report and office tasks as usual. Thank you.
Okay, so that was business office recommendations also.
Yes, so the next step on the agenda, if you're asking, yes, so that's the payment of the bills for the next item.
We have to vote on this, right? Okay. A motion to pay the bills. We have warrant 1 from October. Okay. Be it resolved that the Board of Fire Commissioners approves to pay the bills and vouchers as presented. The board has been supplied with 1 set of bills and 1 credit card bill. Chief Tween has reviewed all prior to the meeting except tertiary claims and those specifically marked as reviewed by the treasurer. The treasurer has requested the board approve the following. Warrant 1, dated 10/21/25, $367,886.23. And a credit card bill from October 21st, 2025 for $4,189 for a total of $372,075.23. Motion to pay the bills.
I'll second.
I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Lori.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo. Commissioner Romero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Civil Service Survey. Okay. Be resolved that the Eastchester Board of Fire Commissioners authorize Jamie Henstrom, Treasurer, to respond to the survey received by Westchester County Civil Service and request the Fire Chief test for 2026. The field of promotion for the Fire Chief test for the Assistant Chief. Okay. And does that get voted on? Or?
Aye.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay.
I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Lori.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlo.
Aye.
Commissioner Randall.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. Civilian employees' salary and vacation was discussed in the executive session. Make a motion,
So we're gonna discuss it further.
oh, okay.
And then we'll, next meeting, next meeting we'll have our recommendations to the board for
Okay.
the salary and vacation increases for the civilian employees.
Okay. And, okay, the Bronxville Firehouse Project, discussion on that. I think we have to determine what the scope of the job is going to be. I personally am in favor of knocking the current firehouse down and starting from scratch and bonding the job to be done. And so that's the way I would leave it. If that fails, then we'll have to do something else. But I feel if we start trying to patch things up, and especially in the firehouse, we're going to find roof leaks, bricks that are porous and leaking inside. There'll be water and on the floor in the basement, and the apparatus floor in the firehouse itself, the front half of it is collapsing already. It's shored up in the basement, and I know the insurance company they won't even insure it anymore, right? because of,
No, that's not the issue. The engineer that comes every 6 months is saying that he's no longer going to certify that it's safe because of the deterioration of the rebar and the spalling of the concrete from underneath the apparatus floor.
Right.
He's saying that shoring is not adequate, it won't be much longer, and at some point he's going to say, it's been 15 years with this temporary fix, you need to fix it. Or he's going to say it's unsafe, and then we'll be out of the firehouse, and we'll, you know,
right.
we won't have a firehouse in Bronxville, so we need to do something before we get to that point where it's unsafe.
Yes, and this is a holdup, like Chief said, it's ongoing for 15 years before any of us were on the board, and it should have been handled at that time, would probably been a lot less expensive than it will be now.
Well, part of the problem was we needed to do Chester Heights because that floor was the whole floor, not just the first third. And so that project, because it wasn't done all at once, it was broken down to roofing, then windows, then, you know, bathrooms, then apparatus floor. It took 7 years to complete that project. So the idea was as soon as we're done with Chester Heights, then we'll get moving on the Bronxville firehouse. But we finished Chester Heights 2 years ago, and, you know, we're kind of slow rolling the Bronxville repairs.
Is there any discussion on Bronxville Firehouse? Anybody else have any thoughts on the,
I mean, if we floor a bond and we don't pass, then we're going to be relegated to just doing the floor.
We probably have to float a bond either way. I'm sure the floor is going to be millions of dollars, you know. Plus, it needs a roof. The windows are original to 1947, you know. So we can't just do the floor and expect the guys to move back in. It's, you know, if we're doing work on that house, we have to address all the maintenance concerns, you know.
anybody else?
I tend to go with do a whole new building. Once you get behind, start doing stuff patchwork, it ends up being more money.
Commissioner Allen, if we start doing anything on that house, I think there should be widely advertised to get the public in here. Because what do we got in here? 5, 6 people? We got to get the public in here to let them know what we're doing, whether we're building a new firehouse, renovating the firehouse, or moving the firehouse. You got to get the public in here. This is no way to get anything done like this with just a few people in here, because you're going to get all kinds of comments saying what we did wrong. There's not going to be one person going to tell you what we did right. So before we make any decision, whether it be tonight or tomorrow night, better get some advertisement out and get the people in here and get this place crowded and let the public speak, because we're not going to get no place like this. The damn shame what happened in Chester Heights. One year we did the roof, one year we did the painting, one year we did the windows, another time we did the floor. If you're going to renovate that firehouse, make the GC do everything. If you have to put an elevator in there, put the damn thing in there. Renovate it all in one shot. 7 years for that firehouse. How many years for North End, where they told us it was going to be 6 months? And we had to go out and rent a firehouse down on the south part of Brook Street over there. So before we do anything or make any kind of comment, we better get some advertisement out. The TV, even if we have to put poster signs all around town. Get the people in here, because otherwise they're going to come chop everybody's head off, saying that my taxes went up because the firehouse, my taxes went up because you didn't renovate it wisely. And look at Chester Heights, it's still not finished upstairs. So that's just my suggestion.
Duly noted, and I know that the department has a website, and I don't know how many people actually look at it.
Yeah, the tools we use that are available that we typically use for board meetings. We have the social media platforms, the email outreach, we have the website. We post around the firehouse, of course, but if the board has suggestions or wants to pursue perhaps a more involved campaign about our board meetings, I can always look into that too.
Well, speaking specifically about this project here that would directly affect people in Bronxville, well, it would affect the whole town.
That's right.
But it's being built, it's taking place in Bronxville. I personally have no problem going to Bronxville, Eastchester, or Tuckahoe to talk about this and make the public understand why it has to be done. So,
Well, the first thing the board has to do is make a decision what they want to do. All 5 of you have to be on board. Are you going to destroy the firehouse, knock it down, and build new, or are you going to renovate it? So you have to make a decision, not in 6 months.
right.
It has to be done soon.
It doesn't have to be all 5, it needs to be 3 of 5.
Whatever.
We can even.
Yeah,
But a decision has to be made soon.
All right, can we vote on it then tonight? And,
I think you better have a little more public in here, Commissioner Ranalone.
But if the public comes in here, if the public says, well, we don't want to do the firehouse, then we don't build the firehouse? Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that.
So what's-
Let's make a decision what we're gonna do. We're not gonna do what we did with the last 2 firehouses. We're gonna make a decision to totally renovate that thing or totally build a new one. And we have to let the public know. They're gonna charge at you with all kinds of questions. They're not gonna just want a yes or no answer. They're gonna ask you all kinds of questions. And whoever's up here sitting in your seat, when they come up here, better be prepared.
Do we want Calgary to give us an idea?
Yeah, bring Calvi in with the public.
No, forget, no.
No?
Do you want
Okay.
Calgary, do you want Calgary to give us an idea on the board? Do you want to know get the idea what's gonna cost either way, or just go straight to what we do?
yeah, I think he's saying in his proposal that he gave us with the time and material quotes that he can help us make that decision. Like he'll do a study, you know, and get pricing and things like that, you know. So if you want his firm to help with that, then, you know, he's gonna wanna get paid. So you have to authorize to hire him to, you know, bring him in on a consulting basis to help the board make that decision that you're discussing.
Well, the majority of the board feels that the right thing to do is just to.
Yeah, then you don't need him to make that decision.
And we can make that decision tonight.
The one thing I would say, I mean, the public has already voted us into these positions
Yeah.
to make these calls. So I understand you saying you want the public, so, but I'm just saying they already voted us in on the board to make
Okay, then you
decisions like this.
vote your conscience.
yeah, I think the board has to be responsible to do something, you know, so we have to take a stand somewhere. And it's either we say we're gonna do a rebuild, knocking the current firehouse down and rebuilding it, and that's what we want to get some information on. Or, you know, we want Calvi to come here and give us information on what direction would be the best way to go. If you can figure out how much it would cost to do that, or to just renovate the current house.
Whether we need to allocate funds to Calgary to give us that breakdown, right, Chief?
Yeah, well, that's, you know, he would hire, you know, architects and engineers and things like that to give us estimates on what the cost of the project would be, whether it was fixing up the building as it is or tearing it down and building new.
Okay, so we can authorize
So
Calvi.
bring him in, yeah,
Yes.
at this time and material rate. If you want to read it, you know, you could read off.
Yeah, I read some of it,
It
yeah.
says, project principal, $200 an hour, project executive,
$185 an hour, a senior project manager, $165 an hour, project manager, $150 an hour, assistant project manager, $130 an hour, project estimator, $135 an hour, project scheduler, $130 an hour, and contract administration, $95 an hour. So, we can't do anything without their recommendations anyway, so we might as well get somebody in here to.
Okay, do you want him to come to the next meeting if he's available?
Yes.
Okay. We'll have him come in, you know. We can discuss it in the public session, you know,
Yeah.
to see what you want to do. We can make recommendations and stuff, so that'll give him a month to, actually, Eastside, do you have the date of the next meeting?
November 13th?
All right, so he's got like 3
Count.
weeks to prepare something for the next meeting.
Okay.
All right, I'll contact him.
Sorry, organization to prepare it? Is that at those rates?
At those rates, yeah, you're
Yeah.
saying, so someone make a motion and vote on it, and second?
A motion to have representatives from Calvi Construction come to our next meeting to discuss what they would do and how much it would cost us.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, second? Anybody want to second that motion?
I'll second.
Second?
I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Laurie.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlin. Commissioner Randall.
Aye.
Motion carried.
So was that to authorize them to begin working and billing us, or was that to have them come to the next meeting to discuss their billing? It was kind of unclear.
We're gonna need them to,
Yeah, like if you want him to come to the next meeting prepared with like, you know, some budget information,
that's gonna be another,
he's gonna charge us some of these, you know, time and material rates. If you just want him to come to the next meeting to discuss what his firm is gonna charge us, which is laid out here, then he's not gonna charge us anything to just talk about that.
Well, we got that already.
I know.
So let him,
So you're authorizing him to like, you know, do an evaluation of the firehouse?
yeah,
well, okay,
absolutely.
Yes, let's do that, yes.
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 Okay,
Okay.
I'll have him come in.
Future meeting, the next meeting is November 13th at Town Hall. Comments from Local 916.
Yeah, I think. I'll see. Before you do that, did you want to discuss the training day that I brought up during my report?
Yes, I think it's a great idea, and I'm in favor of it. I'll make a motion that the chief be allowed to have guys come in for training at the vacant building next door. Can I wait till I finish? For a cost not to go over $60,000.
He's got something on the motion. You got something on
I have
the,
something on the motion, but I can't talk because I have to wait for public
We have to wait
session.
till
So
public
you're gonna vote on it.
Yeah.
So my input would have no value, so vote on it.
okay.
Need a second?
Second to that motion?
second,
I'll call the roll. Commissioner Yankowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Laurie.
Aye.
Commissioner Carlin. Commissioner Randall.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Joe.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Joe Costanzo, President of Local 916. I wanted to start off, thank you. I wanted to start off thanking the district for all the work that you have all done for the budget, especially the district's treasurer. Also want to thank the chiefs, whomever got the house next door. I think it's a great training opportunity for our members, so thank you and thank the board for allowing us to do that. The unions participated in numerous public events over the course of this month, starting with the 9/11 truck setup and breakdown. Just want to thank the Rotary Club and the Foley Family Foundation. It's a great exhibit. We're very fortunate. They've done it the last few years, so thank you to them. We participated in the Columbus Day Parade and Carnival, so thank you to all our members that participated, and then all the public that came by to see us. The police and fire football game, unfortunately our guys lost, but thank you for the public who came out to that. And then this week we have 4 different trunk or treat or Halloween events. So if you haven't seen us already this month, come on by. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Truck or treat?
Comments from the public?
Go ahead, Sam.
Tom Vishy, Maynard Street. You're gonna have the consultant come in at the next meeting. You're leaning towards knocking down the other firehouse. And right now, you have no idea what you want built in its place.
They would make the recommendation based on what we want there.
Well, that's the part I'm getting at. What do you want there? Do you want 3 stories, 1 story, slab of concrete and 4 walls and a roof? That's what you need to find out what it is you want,
Ideally, I would
because
like
that's going to affect the
You're absolutely right.
budget.
Ideally, I would like to find out what the setbacks are on that property and if we can, build a firehouse on the property, on the lines that we can build it on. If it has to be the current where it is now, no bigger than that, then it's gonna have to be 2 stories,
Okay.
because there wouldn't be enough.
Wouldn't the village know that? Their
Oh, yeah,
plan of the
Manager.
the building department in Bronxville?
right.
Might be just something to look at before the 13th.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's also something I'm sure the Calgary would do also.
Before the meeting, or? Well, that way you got an idea of what it is that he's, in other words, if there's a plan that you could only build on the footprint that it is now you're going up 2 stories, so that's gonna be a little bit more expensive. If you could build, let's say, longer to the back or to the one side that the street's closed off, it might not be, and you'd be able to do it in 1 story.
We actually had a meeting with, Chief, who was that? Which architect firm was that? Commissioner Lori was there, Commissioner Randall, who was that?
Calvin.
Yeah, that was Dominic Calki.
Okay, Calvin, we had
Yeah,
a meeting with
yeah.
Calvin, and we did a walk around the building, we looked at the footprints, we figured out what we wanted, whether a, 1-story building, bringing it out to the front of the street more, because the apron is much longer.
Right.
We plan on putting 4 rigs in there, 1 spare engine, 1 truck, 1 in-service truck, 1 in-service engine, coming out onto Midland Avenue, nothing going out on Palumbo Place. We incorporated restrooms, dormitories, gym,
Meeting room.
gear locker, gear storage, vented properly,
Right.
as well as a bailout simulator, rope training within with a wraparound mezzanine area. So
Okay.
we're on it, thanks.
No, I
I'm
just,
telling you, we're on it. We're not-
okay.
We're
That's,
doing things. We're
that,
not just rolling dice. We're on it.
that's what we need to
Okay,
know. That's what the
well,
people need to know.
Okay.
Anybody else? Right.
2 things. Thanks, Chief, in regard to that explanation. You hired it out, you already have an engineering firm. You need to make a decision, okay? And the decision was, the board wants to lean one way, but you don't have a cost analysis for the replacement and fix of version 1.
We were
no,
given an estimate of 600 to 800 per square foot.
No,
So-
that's for the new building.
Yes.
I'm talking about for the current building.
Okay.
So when you want to make this, as Commissioner Laurie was trying to explain, I got to talk quicker. The bottom is the public's going to want to know which is the better economic thing, not which is the better pretty building. They want to know what can we accomplish in it. Can we restore and do it? And that's what Calvi has to give you in that meeting. That's all I'm going to say on that. Okay. Second thing, great idea, except it's a bad idea next door because nobody talked about the word liability. Okay, that's privately owned. Okay, so does the district have to write an own self-insured by going over there in case, as you described, somebody slips and falls in the December weather and breaks their ankle? That's
Yes.
private property, so is that homeowner or is that building owner going to be liable for our guys getting hurt
No,
over there?
Our guys would be covered by workers' comp. Our insurance company gives us a rider for no extra charge, and they'll cover that homeowner. We've done this up in the north end. We go to Iona University.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because
Many
again,
times. They'll
that's
be-
a liability issue, that's all, okay.
If
All right, I wanna
anybody
get
gets
into-
injured, they're on duty. It's a workers' comp, and we have a workers' comp company that would cover
Okay.
their medical bills.
Thank you. I want to go back to the last meeting. I presented everyone from the board a form from New York State in regard to volunteer firemen. Did we get an update in promulgating that list?
We brought it to our attorney, and our attorney says the town has to pass a law allowing that. So as our understanding is the town has not done that yet.
Okay, thank you. In regard to the gong down in Chester Heights, I reached out to the Eastchester Historical Society. Their next meeting is the second week of November. However, I have positive opinions on 3 of the people. They were willing to take the gong and put it on their property after the volunteers restore it. So if it's still sitting on your front lawn, it will be moved over to the Historical Society.
How about
That's-
moving it to the monument right over here?
After it's restored?
Yeah, instead of the historical society? Why
I
not?
doubt very much there's no sign of tape. This is-
Well, I'm glad, if, I did talk to him, you didn't, so.
I know how to
Thank you.
I know how they think.
Okay.
If they think, I'd be surprised. Okay, that's fine, whatever.
Okay, thank you very much. Chief Tween, 2 meetings ago, we're going to do a discussion in regard to ownership of the firehouses. You indicated that Bronxville is owned by the district and the other 4 are owned by the town of Eastchester.
That's correct.
That is correct, okay. So do you know how we would verify who took ownership of these firehouses prior to them being, am I done already? Oh, that's wonderful.
Well, was that 6 minutes?
No, it's only 3 minutes.
Okay, I think he was granted, I think he had requested for both the public session and the budget hearing for an additional
I did.
minutes, so.
So, do we know who the ownership was before the town took? Because most of the, 2 of the firehouses were built before the fire district was ever even
Well, this
created.
used to be town hall and the police station before
Okay.
they moved up there.
Okay.
Maybe Commissioner Laurie would know about, I think they probably built it.
Tucko, I understand, was built around 1927.
Yeah, that used to be fire headquarters
Yeah.
when it first opened.
Yeah.
Because this was town hall,
Right.
that was fire headquarters.
Okay.
So it's probably purposely built as a firehouse, where this was built as town hall and an engine company was here.
Okay.
Where Jamie was, that was the desk sergeant was there. I remember, I was a kid then.
And my last question
Chief
is,
Fisher was the desk sergeant there.
thank you, my last question in regard to this is, as you were gracious enough to give me the extra 3 minutes on the first round and the extra, this round over here, I'm still highly disappointed that the public, even though the public is very small tonight, present over here or whatever, that we don't allow people to ask and finish their questions. I came in earlier today with a bunch of questions. I spent hours going over your treasurer's work, and she does a great job, but there were mistakes in there. And you guys just adopted some of those mistakes that were in there. I will go over them with her later, some of the calculations that were a little bit off. Okay? But my concern is, Village of Tuckahoe, Town of Eastchester, they give the opportunity to address the agenda first. Anybody has any concerns about what's on the agenda, so this way the board can discuss it, the public's questions before you adopt a resolution, and then both municipalities get a second opportunity for general questions after the agenda and the resolutions have been done. They give 2 opportunities. So I would like this board to, maybe on their next huddle, they discuss that the general public has 2 opportunities. First, talk about the agenda before you guys vote on something, and then after you do that, then if somebody wants to come up and talk about something unrelated to the agenda, they have that opportunity. If you wait to the post resolutions for someone to instead of waving at you like, hey, I had a question, okay, it's very embarrassing if there was a valid point and you guys just voted on and didn't give the public an opportunity to talk about that agenda item. Thank you very much. I got 44 seconds left. Have a great night.
In the back. Thank you, Rick. Jimmy.
Question, I guess, for Chief Tween. On the mutual aid, how does the town get reimbursed? You give it so many times, do you get it back?
Yeah, so when we have a fire, New Rochelle, Yonkers, Mount Vernon, comes here to reciprocate.
Right.
If there's any cost or if like a fire truck got damaged, it would be on that city to pay us to repair it. Like if hose was destroyed, we've had Yonkers come in to help us with an oil spill in the Bronx River, and we have to replace their booms and their equipment that they use. So if there's equipment used or damaged, the department that's receiving the mutual aid is responsible to replace it. As far as the manpower and stuff, we don't send them a bill. We just reciprocate, and they reciprocate to us.
Okay. You backfill when you
We do.
give mutual aid?
Yeah, so if 4 or 5 guys go out from the North End Firehouse, they try to backfill. It's not always possible. At 3 in the morning, when they go mutual aid somewhere for half an hour, the guys,
Overtime or straight time?
it would be overtime.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you.
okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Motion to adjourn. Oh, any commissioner comments? Sorry.
Yeah, I want to say something. I know at the last meeting, 4 of the commissioners voted to not let the volunteers use the meeting rooms. I just want to let the public know that passed, heartbreaking, but we're not disbanded. We are still the volunteers. We are not disbanded. Anybody got to disband us, it's going to be the state of New York. that disband us. We got voted, the volunteers have gotten voted out of the firehouse. I guess we had to accept it. It was a hard pill to swallow, but we're not disbanded. I just want to let the public know.
Okay, I'll just make a few comments. On September 30th, I participated in the 9/11 presentation at Tuckahoe High School along with Carrie Foley. I want to thank the Assistant Chief Yazzo, and the crew of Engine 29 for assisting in the presentation. On October 5th, I want to thank the Chief and on-duty personnel for escorting the 9/11 trailer from Yonkers Avenue to ICS parking lot, and then the next day, setting up the trailer to be viewed by the public. And compliments to Commissioner Laurie for driving the trolley to pick up the junior class at Tuckahoe High School, making 4 round trips in the process. October 7th, thanks to on-duty personnel for taking down the, participating in taking the closing ceremonies and taking down the trailer. And we also marched in the Columbus Day Parade on October 19th. And just thank you. I don't know, every year I go down to Tuckahoe High School and give a presentation about 9/11. That was my 4th time down there, and I was able to have Engine 29 come down. They put on their turnout gear, air pack and everything to show the students what the guys have to wear to do their job. And you always get positive feedback from that stuff. The kids really enjoy it. And that's it. So a motion to adjourn. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
Bye.
Meeting adjourned.